Now, welcome to Worldchefs podcast. I'm your host, Ragnar, and you're listening to World on a Plate. Joining us on today's podcast, I have Ikal Luzon, who is our local program coordinator of Like a Chef project in Argentina. The Like a Chef initiative, as you know, was created under Worldchefs Feed the Planet partnerships, which is meant to equip underprivileged people with culinary and workplace skills. And so Ikal has been working very closely with our local partners, Electrolux Food Foundation, including other NGOs, to deliver this very impactful and life-changing program that will benefit hundreds of people during the next years, and also now in the city of Buenos Aires. So welcome, Ikal, and thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for the place for being here. It's excitement for me being in this conversation. So I thank you very much for it. And well,
Thank
I'm
you.
good.
Thank you, Ikal, for joining us. I know it's a busy time for you. You just delivered a wave of students recently. So before we just dive into the Like a Chef program and what you're doing there, maybe you tell us a little bit about yourself. So your connection to the culinary world. What? How did you become are you a chef, Ikal?
I study some basic skill techniques for the kitchen, but I'm not a chef myself. I've been working in kitchens for many years,
Hmm.
3 years, and then I started to insert myself in the culinary world by the Like a Chef program. I introduce myself. My name is Ikal. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a migrant from Venezuela, and I'm already settled in Buenos Aires, Argentina, for 7 years ago. Um, I Before coming to Argentina, I started to take this course of basic skills for the cooking
Hmm.
as a way for me to handle migration, to learn an office, and to come to migrate to Argentina. So I started to work for the first 3 years in the kitchen. I started as a dishwasher, and I make my way up. So I ended up being like the chief of these restaurants that I've been working. Sadly, my story in these restaurants is like very complicated as a migrant, as a trans person, as a brown, we say in Latin America. I've been facing some discrimination in those places that, it kept me out of developing a professional career in the kitchen.
Hmm.
So after these events, I started to work also in the hotel business, in the hostel business too, as a volunteer. These volunteers that you work for a place to stay in the exchanges of hours of working. So there I learn everything I know and develop this love for the culinary world. Um, I After this process of the starting in the culinary world, I have to stop for these cases that I told you about discrimination, about my transitioning and my migrant statement. So I found myself out of tools, out of ways to keep somehow making my way up as a migrator. And I ended up working for the last 4 years in the sexual labor until I get this job in Electrolux Group, thanks to a organization that inserts trans people to the business community. So I have already working in Electrolux for 2 years already. And this is my first years as an ambassador of the Electrolux Food Foundation in Argentina.
Hmm. That's amazing. No, thank you for sharing that, and I'm really glad that we have you on board because now we've started our project in Buenos Aires, and to have that we can count on people like you that are giving so much back to society and to the chefs. It's just an amazing. So yeah, great that you you can overcome these hurdles,
Mm,
and to like a chef, hopefully you find your path in the culinary world, and
yeah.
many years to come. So what you do is really meaningful. Now, maybe the we have the Like a Chef program in quite a different countries, as you know already. We started in Brazil, and we have in Poland and Sweden and Egypt, and so what is unique about the program in Argentina? Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, well, as you know, the program is, as you said, the program is delivering in some communities that are unprivileged. And in this case, in Argentina, we are working with the LGBTIQ plus community to, well, bring these tools to work in the kitchen and also to insert them in the labor business. Um, and we decide in Argentina to focus on this group first, thanks to the partnership that we have here, and then because, well, Argentina is going to a phase or a period of time where the LGBT subject is very on the focus.
Mm.
So we have all like the visibility, and we also have trans people trying to get into the labor, but since as a trans person you don't get to be involved with the education system, with the family system, and all these things that keep you out from getting a job, we've tried to help this community to be inserted once again in the society. Since we know that 89% of the trans people that live in Argentina is without a work, a registered work, and most of these people, the 75% of these people, is working as a sexual worker. And when they try to get to being served on a job, well, they also have this other problem that since they haven't had education before, or they haven't even go to high school, because, well, they were discriminated from there and they were expelled from it. Only the 24% of the trans people is having some studies, some academic degrees. So now that we know this, and we are trying to focus this program on the LGBT community, what we are doing here, I guess, is very important. Not because we are only giving job and education to these people, but because we are connecting them once again to the emotion of food, for the way that food also creates community, share culture, and is a way to connect between people. That, for me, in the personal way, is one of the most important things. You are getting back to these people to know how to deal with the kitchen now, know how to deal with the food, and knowing also what can you give through the food.
Absolutely. And so where are you now at? Have you already graduated a lot of students, or are you just in the intake? What is the status now of the project?
Okay, we are just getting started. We make the inauguration of the kitchen in the 30th of May. We have some adaptations also in the program. It's supposed to last 1 month, but since the reality of our students is very complicated, we decided to make it a little bit longer for helping them to get the attendance they need to graduate. So we are going with the first wave. We have already 20 students. Mostly of them are trans and trans or travestis. Other part, five people is five. Yeah, five persons are non-binary, and then we have the other two students that are cis heterosexual people. So we have a lot of diversity, a very diverse group, different ages, different genders, and different realities that we are trying to work with them. We're still going. There's still 3 months to go, but we are working on it, and it's been a wonderful experience to share this place with the students and going through the experience of like a chef.
Yeah, how has the experience been? So, how is the atmosphere? Are they? Is it a good group of people you have? They are eager to use the skills and get into the workforce. Do you feel?
Yeah, since the first moment that they knew that the program is gonna happen, we already have from the school almost 100 persons subscribing to get involved. We only couldn't take 20 from the moment, but we want to take the 100 for this year. So the group, they're very eager to learn, to be there. They're making a lot of efforts also to participate in the program. And right now, or in a, not like in the program, but in the whole country, the trans people is going through some phases of losing some rights that we are been fighting for. We are having some problems with the attendance of the program, and since we knew that it was going to happen, we are now creating a launch place. I forgot how to say. Yeah, a launch for the school that we have the program settled to make the students able to come home, to come to the program. So we are not only like giving the classes and teaching them how to prepare the food, but we are also feeding the school through the program for the other students. So it's been a whole quest. It has been very experience to make all this happen, to make the program happen, and at the same time to make this lunch place for everyone too. Is two initiatives that we are that it cannot go one without the other, because the reality of the students that we're having already is very complex for them to take the decision to go to study. They have to make the decision, they have to make the decision between eating or paying the bus to go to the classes. So we're trying to fix that and help them in any way we can to make them to make the program happen for them, and to make them keep going on the classes. So we are going, and it has been wonderful because they knew that we are making this effort. They realize we are making all these initiatives, that we are trying to get involved with them, and they have a lot of support from the Electrolux and from the Worldchef Academy too. So they are like totally happy going through it. And their faces are starting to change. They first come at the first class. They come and they were like, "What is this? What is that? What is a knife? What is a processor? I don't know how to use an oven. I have never seen an oven in my life." And now they are like, "Okay, I want to create this store. I want to sell this kind of food. I want to work on these kinds of restaurants." And you're starting to see that they can project themselves in like 1 month that we have in classes. From not knowing how a kitchen works, now they are projecting themselves and what they can do in the culinary world. And seeing that transformation in every student is priceless.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And so I mean, as I mentioned earlier, every center we have around the world is a different reality and different population that we target. And so in Argentina, you also work with other partners, the Moca Celis and the Carrefour Argentina. So how does that collaboration work? What is I mean, how do they make the thing happen in Argentina? Or
Perfect. Well, the partners are very important in every location. The Electrolux Food Foundation help us to build the kitchen. The Mocha Celis, that is a is a school, but it's also an association that is focused on trans, travestis, and non-binary people. And it's focused on trans, travesti, non-binary people because they go to the prostitution zones, they go to the shelters, and they reach these trans, travesti, and non-binary, and present them what they do in the Mochacelis. And the Mochacelis is the first, it's the second school in the, yeah, sorry, it's the first school in the world that is focused on trans, travesti, non-binary since 2011. And they they help in the medical way, in the legal way. They insert people in the labor and even into society. They start with a program that help them get inserted in the society, like washing your teeth, like brushing your teeth, like how many showers, food, cleaning, clothes. Then they start a program to make them education. So they make the second, they make the high school, and then they try to find them a work. So this partner for us, it was very important because they are already working in the labor inclusion, and they're specialized in this community. So they what they do with us with the program is that they go to find the students. They reach out which student want to make a professional career in the culinary world, and they insert them in the program. And in the other hand, we have Carrefour Argentina, that what they do is giving us the food for the students to prepare, and they also are helping us to build this lunch place for all the other students.
Right.
So that's how we are dealing with the partners here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so you now have how many kitchens do you have that Electrolux installed? How many? Yeah, you said you had 20 students, so
Okay, we have a kitchen for with 8 ovens and 8 with things to
yeah,
uh,
8 stations maybe. Yeah,
exactly. Sorry. So we have it for 8, but since we know that most of the students have a hard time, attending to the classes, we open for a little bit more of a students. So we know that some of them are gonna left or are not be able to end up the program, and we are working inside the kitchen with groups. So one group, like in a restaurant, one group is doing the salads, one group is making this part of the preparation, one group is making the other part of the preparations. We have classes of 4 hours. So we divide all the tasks and all the responsibilities, and then at the end of the class, we are sharing all the knowledge, trying the food, the experience, and we try to connect at the end of the program all the knowledge that we are sharing with each other.
right. So how did the meeting happen? So you mentioned earlier on that you were working in the industry and then you get this opportunity. How did that connection? How was that made? How did you meet with Electrolux Foundation people and
Okay.
how?
Well, since like I told you before, getting inside Electrolux, I used to work as a sexual worker, and there is where I get to well, being served in the community, know the realities, and also feel it as mine. And there I start to militate to create these like popular um, yeah, we make the organization to bring food to the homeless people or to give food to a certain kind of community. So I've been working with the culinary world or the social in the culinary world for many years, knowing that the Mochacelis was doing this. So I also work with the Mochacelis, and there is where I get to know them.
Okay.
And since I get inside the Electrolux, I was trying to find a way to give something back to my communities because well, they helped me to get where I am. So I want to other trans persons to come to occupy these places. And with my boss, we were like, okay, what can we do? Can we try to create some education for these people? Like, let's make classes of how to be in an interview, how to interact in an interview, how to develop your CV. But we were not like very happy with it because, well, one of the most the important reasons, or the most likely reason that trans person don't get a job is because they don't even get to the interview. So we were like, well, we are training for an interview that is not going to happen. We need to find other ways to try to help them. And it kept going. We were like thinking in ideas, trying to, to hit the right spot to make it happen. And one day, my boss was in a meeting, in a global meeting in Electrolux. Other region saw the result of what they're doing with Like a Chef, and my boss called me like right away and told me, "Hey, I found out that Like a Chef is an action from Electrolux Food Foundation. What about if we make this here in Argentina?" And when I hear that from him, it was like, This is perfect. This is what we were looking for, because it's the tool, it's the professional development in the people. We will be able to, to help them as the way we wanted." And since that first moment, it took us at least a year and a half to make all the partnership happens, to know where we're gonna do it, how we were gonna do it. But as soon as we called the Mochacelis to offer them the idea of the program, they were like totally on it. And it took us more time, like 6 months, to find a partner with the food,
Mm.
because, well, it's a lot of food that this partner have to give to for all the students. And it was very hard because the partnerships that we have in other countries were not here in Argentina. So we have to go out and go door by door looking for the partnerships who wants to participate. And finally, when we arrived to Carrefour, they were also very enthusiastic about the program, and they were giving us more ideas and how can we make it bigger, how can we participate more, which other countries are there, so we can also help these countries. So it took us a while to find out this partnership, but as soon as we found them, it was just a matter of time to make the program happen.
Excellent. So what? So it's been a long road. So it's been a very challenging path to open up. What has been the most challenging? Well, you mentioned getting the food partner. Is it the recruitment or motivation of the students?
Mhm.
What is the most challenging for you now? What is the biggest challenge ahead?
Um, well, first, like a personal, is this thing that for me is the first time that I have this registered work that I'm working for a foundation. So for me, everything is new, and everything is difficult as it goes. Gladly, I'm very well. I have very good people next to me that are helping me with it. On the other hand, I guess the biggest problem that we're having now is to get in touch with the chef, with chef, to keep bringing them to the program, because the way we were looking chef right now is maybe these people that is not working, it's not looking for making a volunteer, is people that is working for a labor. So the program itself is supposed to be sustainable.
Yeah.
So looking for this chef to make them come to the program is like the most harder thing that I'm facing right now, uh, or that I was facing, because now I enter with the like real in contact with the World Chef Academy and with the other chefs that are linked to the association. And as soon as I get into this, I get in touch with these World Chef partners. They were giving me a lot of contacts of local chef in Argentina, of other people that is getting involved in initiatives like this. So as it was being a problem, I'm still looking for someone to keep going with the next wave of students that is starting in August. Uh, but now I have a lot of contact, and I see the importance of the Worldchef Academy when dealing with these programs, because in my experience I was like going to restaurants or talking to people that I knew and trying to find, someone that it can help me with the program. And I guess I was doing it the wrong way. So when I get in touch with the World Chef Academy, it was like, oh no, there's a bunch of chefs that are trying to participate in this initiative, that are willing to give their time, and is now it's being different. And I've been finding more options. So I guess that's the most important or the most difficult part in developing the program, because well, it's a lot of hours, it's a lot of time that the chef have to give, or the students also have to attend. Um, but that, I don't want to make it longer. Is the looking for chef is what is being the most difficult part.
Exactly, exactly. I guess both for the training and I'm now I just want to talk also to our members around the world, for the initiatives that we're doing, whether it's in Argentina or elsewhere, is we talk a lot about inclusion and how it can also help the corporate culture within a restaurant or a hotel to be
Mm,
more uh, inclusive and get a better and a healthier environment, can actually raise the standards globally. So it's a great example that you've shown us, and I thank you for for talking and sharing all that you've been through. I think it's a great inspiration for anybody out there, our members. Your center in Argentina, as I mentioned, we have other centers around the world. I mentioned Sweden and Poland and Brazil, two of them in Brazil, or three now, and Egypt, and we want to open more. We want to open more centers, and I know it's a bit of a heavy lifting. It's we need to have the kitchens in place, and we have to have access to kitchen facilities. There is the food ingredients that need to be managed, and of course all the team around, like yourself doing and the
mm,
Argentina, and to have the chefs involved in the training process, to get the students through the program, and of course the whole recruitment and hand holding the students. It's just a great job
yeah,
that you do with Motorcellis and other great people that come from other part of society, not just cooking, but other
mm,
skills that we
yeah,
can also give to people. So, and the end goal is, of course, to get them into employment or livelihood or open their own business. That can also be a
yeah.
for them. Yeah. So I guess this has been a challenging. I know it's been a challenging, a lot of hours, but what is the most rewarding for you now that it's still in the process, and how do you feel about the whole thing personally?
Um, well, um, I guess for this community in particular, but I guess it happens to a lot of others community. The possibility to project themselves in life, it's something that is, a privilege that many people doesn't have. And I guess that this program is bringing that capacity to the people that is going through it, because that's what I'm seeing since I started the program. Is like I told you before, is people that is arriving with not many options in life, with not many places to occupy, and suddenly a foundation and an international company are working for them to be in serving society, and they are realizing about that. So when you hear them talking about where they want to be, or where they want to go, or I want to become a chef, or I want to have my own store, or I want to work in that restaurant because I like it, is life changing, because well, seeing that transformation is amazing, because I can also see myself on it. And also the Electrolux Food Foundation bring that to me, this change, this life-changing process, that I also have it as a coordinator. And I guess I can see that the students are also going through the same process. And for me, that's the most important thing that we can give to them.
Hmm. Well, thank you, Ikal, for sharing all that and very inspiring and a very powerful story. And I hope we also managed to inspire our listeners around the world. As I mentioned, we're gonna on the podcast page, we're gonna put some links to Like a Chef program and how actually you, the listener, you can also be involved. We want to open these centers in any country and everywhere in every city in the world to help to get people from underprivileged situation, from poverty, from exclusion into our industry. We want to be the industry to be inclusive and to be a mirror of our society. And so we're going to share those resources on our page, and we have a whole package, starting kit for to support it, and a whole team with Electrolux Food Foundation, with world chefs around the world, that we can duplicate these success stories everywhere.
Mm,
Uh, so
yeah,
again, thank you, Ikal. Thank you for joining us, and we wish you good luck. And I look forward to seeing your first graduation students soon.
perfect. You will. Thank you so much for the invitation again. Yeah, let's make this new generation of sustainable chess happens.
Excellent. Thank you. And everybody, thank you for listening. You're listening to World Chef Podcast. I'm your host, Ragnar, and this is World on a Plate. Bye bye.
Bye bye.